It's an immaculate condition. Yeah, look.
Now we got the tread on the inside.
Indestructible. Good job, Verve.
This is a good idea.
It's good?
Yeah, it's good.
Wow.
No memory.
Yeah, no,
Damn.
this is like amazing. Yeah, we ran it over 2 times. No problems.
now-
You can now brew coffee with it. It's no shape difference at all. Nice. Good job, Verve.
Verve Coffee from Santa Cruz, our local friends, have made a dripper. So this is the Verve Dwell Dripper. It's made out of silicone. So as you see, I can do things like this. I can throw it on the table and I don't have, there's like no problems with cracking. You have a glass dripper, ceramic dripper, you ever drop that, you feel that, feels bad. Yeah, BPA free also. What's interesting about this dripper is it's a flat bottom as you see, but it is one of these faster flowing, newer styles of flat bottom drippers where you can't really stall it. You can use some very interesting paper filters, which we will cover in another video, but this fits Kalita 155, 185, and it's designed for bigger doses. So if you've ever brewed with something like an Oria V3 or V4 or Time RB75, this is that same type of flavor profile, and you have so much control in terms of how fine you can push stuff. But it feels really comfortable brewing larger doses in this. And this is significantly, at least in my opinion, significantly more consistent than a bigger Kalita. You don't stall, like look at that. It is interesting that it's made out of silicone. So if you're traveling with it, you can fold it up. You can do a lot of other things with it. It retains heat pretty well. And I like that at the bottom, they actually put things like this, where it says, you know, they like 1 to 15. I will brew this more than 1 to 15. 20 grams of coffee to 300 grams of water, brew 1 to 15 ratio, Dwell Dripper by Verve Coffee. Comes in this nice silicone pink. But
Did you ask for pink?
I did not ask for pink. Colby handed it to me. He was like, here you go. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll test it out. Quick disclaimer, this is a prototype. I don't know when this is gonna come out, but it's really cool that they are working on something like this. So as you see, it's kind of in this mold. What's interesting is the actual it's not fully symmetrical at the bottom.
Why is this not symmetrically in 33.33%? Yeah, 1/3. I mean, I can kind of see why, because you have like these symmetrical and you don't want it that close.
It's pretty steep angled, so you're gonna get that faster flow. And your Kalita filters, I'm gonna use a 185 here, fit in like that. They fit in nice, pre-wet. You know, look how fast that flow is. So there's a bit of capillary action going on there too, but also it's one of these more open bottom, flat bottom drippers. The thing which we will cover at a later date is different paper filters. So Verve is also going to come out with their own filters. This is something we're seeing emerge as of the past few months, which is unwoven flat bottom paper filters. So there are other flat bottom paper filters, like this is a Kalita, this is a new filter. You can kind of see that they're distinctly different here. Much thinner, much lighter. We haven't really tried these yet. We will explore them at a later date with a normal video on that, but Verve is gonna come up with their own filters. As you kind of see with these Kalita 185s, they fit pretty well. The ribs inside, the ribbing hold up the paper filter. So you're not gonna get any sort of like collapsing of a paper filter or weird stickage of the paper filters, if you like this style at least, to the edges of your dripper. One other thing that I really quite like is you can see through this. Like you can see through the paper filter, through the waves here, to the other side. So that isn't going to be a place where coffee can pool up and stall your brew if you're using something, if you're used to something like Kalita, like a regular Kalita. So we don't have a catch cup here right now, or at least it's wet. So what you can do, here's an EK43S, is you can actually fold.
We have this special like.
Yeah, we have a hook here, but as you see, because it's a silicone dripper, you can mold it into any sort of shape there. So yeah. I'm gonna grind here. You can grind directly to your dripper if you have this set up.
Oh yeah.
So look at that. And then because you're using something like Kalita 185s, they work completely fine. They're rigid enough. I don't think most people will do that, but as a demonstration purpose of, yes, you can literally push this together, it goes back to its shape, which is great. You know, you can fold it for your EK, you can throw it across the parking lot. It doesn't deform. Like you can just like throw it on the floor. And you can run it over with a truck.
Yeah, it's completely fine. See? It's completely fine. Yeah, look.
Look at these tread marks.
What I've liked about this dripper a lot is just the fact that you can use these 20 to 25, even 30 gram doses, and you don't run into any of the problem of like crazy stalling of, oh, my paper filter, you know, it's heavy, a lot of weight, it's gonna stall my big Kalita, and so on and so forth. So yeah, this has been great for that. But yeah, because you have that open bottom, and we'll get a little bit closer in there for you to see, you can definitely see that, and we're also grinding pretty fine here, is you can see the flow on here is really fast. So there's definitely like capillary action that happens. So all the coffee gets sucked out into here, and you can see that it just drips down. I'll give you guys some examples of what you can do with like heavy agitation, heavy kettle pours, and all of that. The dripper is not the reason why your brew is going to stall. It's going to be, that's probably going to be your paper filter or what coffee you're using in grinder and so on and so forth. But this is great because you can use these larger doses. So if you're in a cafe, or if you're, say, at this farmer's market and you're serving a lot of coffee to people, you can effectively run this, and you know, you can serve those much larger beverages for people. But this does get nice and hot, so that's why there's a little handle here. So heat retention on this seems to be fine. I've been able to brew all of my really lightly roasted coffee. I've had no problems with temperature stability, but this does have different brewing dynamics than, you know, a ceramic dripper or a plastic dripper. This is the first time I brewed with a silicone dripper. So now I'm going to do a very big pour, and you can see, like, look at how fast I'm pouring here, and you can see the flow rate is still very, very consistent.
That's like max on the kettle. Right?
Yeah, this is literally the max I can go on the kettle. I like brewing 1 to 17 on this dripper, and we're also grinding very fine. But if you did what I just did, look at that, look how fast it still is. If you just did what I did there on something like a Kalita, it would 100% stall, because the paper filters would collapse into the bottom, or you have some of the other flat bottom drippers where these wave filters will like collapse into the sides. As you see here, because it's got these ribbings that go down and they're angled pretty steeply, you get that really nice consistent flow rate. So this is, you know, why we like flat bottom drippers, is consistency. And I think it's always been funny where it's like, oh, brew on flat bottom because it's supposed to be more consistent, and then you run into inconsistencies with paper filters and inconsistencies with drippers. And now we finally have, you know, the next generation of these flat bottom drippers, you know, like our April here, that are very consistent when it comes to, you know, actual pouring. But yeah, I was pouring at a side there to show you. Okay, yeah, because I'm pouring this way to show you. Of course, I could have spun it at the end and tapped it and it would have looked good. But yeah, you know, there's no like problem here from, you know, air gaps or things stalling or anything like that, because there are holes here. But yeah, you know, that's a demonstration there where it's like, look at how like of an egregious thing I can do to this, and you're not going to run into any of the problems, right? And that's like the big advancement that we see with something like this. You know, a lot of people still really like this flavor profile of just a normal Kalita filter. So, you know, we'll give this a taste. This is obviously like not the most optimal looking brew, but also in the flat bottom world, I don't care too much about bed visuals. This is all going to get hot because the heat retention is pretty good. Thank you. So what you can do is you can just dump out your filter like that. You just dump it out, and then you can give this a little bit of a rinse. What I have noticed though is because it's silicone, you can kind of see there's like dust and some like hair and stuff that gets stuck to this. So just make sure you wipe this off, and then this is cool because of all that capillary action, but you're going to need to make sure the bottom of the dripper is cleaned, or that you get some coffee stains, but not the end of the world. That's what this is in terms of brewing. Brewing dynamics, it's nothing crazy. Like, and I think that's what's good about it is like I don't have to actually turn on my brain too much when I'm brewing with this because you have so much flexibility in what you're doing. Like I don't need to suddenly think, oh, if I pour too aggressively or if I pour in a certain way, I'm going to stall the dripper. This also is just going to give you a cup that tastes like a flat bottom, a fast flowing flat bottom where you can grind really fine in and you're gonna get that type of flavor profile. Of course, it depends on how you brew it, but generally speaking, I like these because you can grind finer and that's what you're gonna get. So I'll give it a little bit of a taste. But this is just the Naruk from Mume Coffee Roasters. Look at how much coffee I can make too. Like this was a 20-gram dose. I could have brewed a lot more. It's kind of weird. I don't really brew large doses in these flat bottoms anymore. Usually I'm brewing 10 to 15 grams. So it's been very fun to explore brewing larger doses with this. I also imagine this would be a really good brewer for travel. Give it a taste. Tastes like what you'd expect it to taste like. It's sweet, it's balanced. But generally speaking, the flavor profile of these drippers in this style, especially when there's this temp stable, is you're gonna get nice acidity, it's gonna be balanced, but the acidity in a lot of these faster flat bottoms is gonna be very structured and kind of weighty. There's like a weightiness to the acidity that's quite fun. A little bit different than something like your V60 and completely different than like your April and all of that. But I would totally lump this dripper in the same, if you like something like Aurea flavor profile, you like Time B75 flavor profile, I would totally lump this into there. But I think this would be a really great choice for like a cafe situation. I know a lot of people are using Kalitas in cafes. Kalita's outdated. Use this. This is significantly better. Much more consistent, just because the flow is much higher. But yeah, from a flavor perspective, it tastes great. It tastes like what you expect this to do. I don't know what else to add. Yeah, I don't know. How's the coffee? It tastes like a nice high fast flow flat bottom. Acidity's there. It's sweet. It's balanced. I totally could have ground this finer, which is it would have also flowed about the same, which is kind of awesome. I mean, that was a 3-minute brew, but I did about a 1-minute bloom there. No problems with this. Solid dripper. This is a prototype too, so quite solid.
I don't even know what you would improve.
I don't know what else to improve here. Yeah, honestly. I mean, maybe like some of the coating on the outside so dust doesn't stick on it as much. But like, it works fine. Good job, Verve. I like it. I'm quite surprised that Verve, out of all places, would come out with this. But they're trying, so we love that. I think if you're trying to brew larger doses for like a cafe or at home, and you want consistency and you want, less stress, less inconsistencies with your brewing, things that frustrate you, this is a great choice. And I could also see this as a great travel dripper as well. You just put your filters in here, like how I came here today is I just put the filters in here and you can like fold it up like this, and the ribbing in here does a good job at actually keeping the shape of the paper filters. We are going to explore these new unwoven filters at a later date, but Verve is going to come out with their own filters. This is the new trend. I'm actually surprised that these are here and we can try them, and it's coming from Verve. That's also awesome. So cool that they're keeping up with the times, and awesome that they came out with the dual dripper. So yeah, that's all. Thank you so much, Verve, for hooking me up with one of these, and I've had a great time brewing with it. And I think this will come out at a later date, so be on the lookout for that. But otherwise, thanks for spending time watching the video. See you guys later.
Oh, a thing about silicone is that it does kind of like absorb the oils if you don't clean it immediately. So like sometimes you'll get like, I don't know if this applies to you, but like in my old AeroPress days where I just didn't clean it, the AeroPress plunger was like pretty rancid because it absorbed all the oils and I didn't really clean it. So this
is fine because this is better because it's paper filters,
maybe,
right?
yeah,
so your
I'm not
coffee
sure.
isn't touching the plastic, right?
Yeah,
or
I
the
think
silicone.
so. Maybe,
Right.
but that's just like that's a thing with silicone though, right?
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
gotta
sure.
be careful, right?
So I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. But
well, we'll give it some time.
Yeah, give it time.
But
the handle is kind of funny when I was trying to like level my bed because it's so malleable. But it's like dishwasher safe.
BPA free.
You get
right?
all the benefits of silicone. I mean, there's obviously like rigid. It's not supposed to be that rigid, but it was cool when there's a clip of Brian putting the filters in here, and then it's like perfectly fitting for travel. like because it's like flush, right? So it fits
And
perfectly.
you can fold it to fit your grinder too.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, the nitpicks are like low. There's nothing really I'm nitpicking. Like maybe just like, oh, is the performance.
Does that matter when
does-
all the extraction happens?
When
in your
Mr.
paper filter,
when
right?
Mr. Super even technical brew guy
Oh my
wants it to
God.
be in a turntable, will this affect my perfect evenness of extraction?
Probably not.
Probably not, but we'll see.
I'd say if you squish it down enough,
Oh yeah, what if you do this
Like-
for the extraction?
that you have
Is this
technology.
the next extraction
or
tick?
like this, you push down from the top.
Oh, like
Yeah.
not really.
It's rigid.
It's stiff enough, unless you get like a carafe that's like held right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, those were my nitpicks.